Hi guys, I'll be doing a monitor buyer's guide to help you in deciding which monitor would best suit your needs in terms of gaming, productivity and even sim racing. I'll cover the different kinds of monitors out there and hopefully this guide will help answer the majority of questions you may have. Now, choosing a monitor really depends on how you intend to use it. So a monitor that may be perfect for one person may not be perfect for someone else. So in that respect, there is no such thing as a perfect monitor. Let's start by how much money you have to spend, so your budget, as that will dictate the options you have available to you. Plus, when looking, it's definitely worth checking out some of the websites selling used equipment like eBay, Facebook, Amazon warehouse deals, where they have refurbished gear at pretty good prices. If you can, I'd say it's worth paying a little bit more to get something with a higher spec, so hopefully it'll last you longer, as it's not one of those things you'll upgrade often. Then you'll want to consider your usage, so if you're going to use your monitor for gaming, then you'll need a good refresh rate, or if you want it for productivity purposes like video editing and want something with good brightness levels and accurate color representation, or even using it for just basic needs, so browsing the web or watching your streaming services. The size of your monitor plays a big role in your overall experience, with there being quite a few options available. Screen sizes are measured diagonally regardless of the aspect ratio of the monitor. Monitors generally range in size from 24 inches moving up to 48 inches in a 16:9 aspect ratio, which is the common widescreen format for both PCs and consoles. I'd say 27 inches is the sweet spot for most people, as it doesn't take up too much space and is generally a good size for both gaming and productivity use. Then there's the 32-inch, which I'd say is a better minimum size to go for due to the extra screen real estate, with sizes in this aspect ratio going up to a massive 48 inches. Moving on to the ultra-wide monitors, where you'd see more screen space horizontally, with sizes ranging from 34 inches to a massive 57 inches, with an aspect ratio being large, so 21:9 for an ultra-wide to a 32:9 for a super ultra-wide. It's not ideal for a console, as consoles don't support an ultra-wide format, so if you did use it with a console in full screen mode, the screen will be stretched, or if you maintain the 16:9 aspect ratio, you'll get black bars on either side. Whereas an ultra-wide is perfect on a PC, giving you a massive screen real estate, making it a game changer for productivity usage, but gaming wise it's worth double checking the games you intend to play, as not all games support the ultra-wide format, but for the ones where it is supported, the experience is so insane, providing a really immersive experience, ideal for sim racing. Ultra-wide monitors are generally curved, and the heavier the curve, the better the level of immersion you'll get when gaming. There's always a number associated with the curvature of a monitor, followed by an R, which means radius. The larger the number, the lower the curvature. So as an example, my productivity monitor, which is 49 inches, has a 3800 R curvature, which is very subtle, making it perfect for video editing or general office work. Whereas my 39-inch gaming monitor has an 800R curvature, which is much heavier, making it ideal for gaming. Resolution-wise, the majority of monitors out there are either 1080p, which is full HD, 1440p, which is 2K, and 2160p, which is 4K. And this refers to the number of horizontal and vertical pixels on your screen. The higher the number, the more detailed the image. Generally, all 24-inch monitors have a 1080p resolution, which gives you a nice sharp image. But the problem is, if you jump to 27 inches with a 1080p resolution, then the screen is a little bit stretched and becomes a lot less sharp. And if you look close enough, you can just about make out the individual pixels, so it doesn't look as good. I'd say for a 24-inch monitor, 1080p is more than sufficient. For 27-inch, I'd say go for 1440p, and for 4K, go for the 32-inch, as 4K on a 27-inch doesn't really take advantage of the resolution and could impact frame rate in your games, depending on the GPU you have. The high quality 4K screens provide the sharpest picture quality, and gaming in 4K really does look stunning. But when you're gaming in 4K, you're going to need a pretty high-end PC to get a high frame rate. But for the majority of gamers who don't have a powerful PC, it may be better to go for a lower resolution, so 1080p or 1440p, so you don't end up having to upgrade your PC to get a higher frame rate. But if you're planning to game on a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, I'd say it's best to go for a 4K screen, because most games aim for 4K but with a 60 FPS cap, so a typical 4K 60 FPS monitor is perfect. In terms of clarity, PPI is quite important. It stands for pixels per inch, referring to the number of pixels that fit into 1 inch of the screen. The higher the value, the better the sharpness of the images, videos, and text. Otherwise, if the value is low, you'll end up with fringing around the text. So when choosing, aim for a PPI of 109 or higher for the best clarity levels. On to refresh rate, and worth noting that Hertz and FPS are not the same. FPS stands for frames per second, and it's a measure of how many frames a GPU can generate or draw each second. Whereas Hertz is a measure of how many times a monitor can refresh the image on the screen each second, and the higher the Hertz, the smoother the image. You'll find the majority of monitors provide a standard 60 Hz refresh rate, but on some of the gaming monitors it can reach an insane 500 Hz. But personally, I'd say anything between 144 Hz and 240 Hz is more than adequate for a good gaming experience. For productivity usage, having a higher frame rate helps to give an overall smoother experience. Scrolling on different windows, which is great when working on Office documents or browsing the web, and is perfect when video editing in Premiere Pro, where you'll be scrolling through your timeline and playing your video while editing, with the sweet spot really being around the 144 Hz mark. Next, we have the input lag and response time, which are actually two different things. Input lag is the amount of time it takes your monitor to display the most up-to-date signal that comes from your computer, while response time is how long it takes for a pixel to change from one color to the next, usually measured with one shade of grey to another, measured in milliseconds. The lower the number means you get less motion blur. If you're a gamer, you'd want the response time to be anything under 5 milliseconds, but some manufacturers claim that their monitors can achieve 1 or 2 millisecond response times, but these are actually their best case results, where they've tested using extreme overdrive modes that can actually introduce reverse ghosting, which is another kind of motion blur. OLED gaming monitors generally provide the best response times, reaching around 0.03 milliseconds, so probably the best option you could go for. Over to variable refresh rate, or VRR, which is beneficial for gaming. This allows the refresh rate of your screen to dynamically adjust in real time to match the frame rate output from your device you have connected, like a PC or console. It helps to eliminate screen tearing and stuttering, providing a smoother gaming experience, especially on games running at or under 60 FPS. When VRR is enabled on your monitor, the refresh rate is no longer fixed to a specific value and can change to the frame rate the GPU is delivering. This helps to reduce screen tearing and ghosting, which gives smoother graphics on your monitor. Newer monitors generally do include some form of VRR support, so Nvidia's G-Sync and AMD's FreeSync. Now, monitor panels have come a long way since the old TN panels, which stands for Twisted Pneumatic, and is one of the oldest panel types. It's actually one of the cheapest and has good black levels. It was the best choice for gamers as it had a faster refresh rate, but viewing angles was bad with image fade. Then you have VA panels, which stands for vertical alignment. These panels give better viewing angles and good overall color performance with a wider color gamut, which is better than the TN panels. Then you have IPS panels, which stand for in-plane switching, which have a better color performance, offer wider viewing angles, but these panels lag behind TN panels with speed. And since the price drop of IPS panels, both TN and VA panels are slowly disappearing. There's a new generation of panels, which are the mini LEDs, OLED and QD OLED, that are more expensive but do give better picture quality. Mini LED panels are a type of display technology that uses much higher number of small LED backlights compared to VA and IPS panels. This allows for the precise control over local dimming, giving deeper blacks and higher contrast levels. They have improved brightness, making them ideal for HDR content, and with the control over backlighting, they give improved color accuracy with better image quality and viewing experience. Then there's OLED, which is the most expensive of all the panel types, but seriously, picture quality on an OLED is absolutely stunning. Each pixel is self-emitting, where it can actually turn itself off if the scene is dark enough, so you get those perfectly inky blacks with vibrant colors. Picture quality is consistent from all angles, and the awesome thing here is that there's no backlight bleed. And finally, there's QD OLED panels, or quantum dot OLED, which combines the benefits of OLED and quantum dot to give the enhanced picture quality, which significantly boosts brightness and color volume. Now, this stunning picture quality on OLEDs come at a cost, with the panels costing slightly more than other types of panels. Plus there's a risk of burn-in, which is when static images are displayed for too long and the image remains on the screen permanently. But most OLED and QD OLED displays come with built-in measures to prevent burn-in, such as pixel shifting and screensavers. And with these measures, it helps to reduce the likelihood of burn-in occurring under normal usage conditions. If you do a lot of creative work as a graphics designer, a photo editor, or even a video editor, where color accuracy is important, then it's worth going for a 10-bit color panel, which provides 1.07 billion colors, giving smoother color transitions, more accurate color representation, and smoother gradients, together with more realistic images. Look for monitors that cover a wide color gamut, such as sRGB, Adobe RGB, or DCI P3. The wider the gamut means the monitor can display more colors, resulting in richer and more accurate visuals. OLED and IPS panels are known for their superior color accuracy and consistency, together with better viewing angles compared to a TN or VA panel. But just be aware that sometimes you may see a 10-bit color panel monitor, but actually it's 8-bit color plus FRC, where if it can't display a color from the wider 10-bit color spectrum, then it displays a shade either side of the intended color to create something like the required shade. HDR, which stands for High Dynamic Range, is something that you'll see a lot on monitors, which gives significant advancement in display technology, from deep blacks to bright highlights, with the results being more dynamic with an even wider color gamut, which means it can display more colors that enhances the details in both the darkest and brightest parts of an image, providing more depth and realism, giving a more lifelike picture, especially in scenes with both dark and light elements. A wide color gamut means they can display more colors and more accurately represent the content as intended by the creators. There's several HDR standards, including HDR10, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, and HLG. HDR10 is the most common and widely supported standard, with Dolby Vision offering dynamic metadata for scene-by-scene optimization that provides better image quality. Look for monitors with high peak brightness levels, which is measured in nits. A higher peak brightness allows the monitor to display bright highlights more effectively. For a good HDR experience, aim for a monitor with at least 400 nits as a minimum, with a 10-bit color panel so it can display more color shades, resulting in smoother gradients. If you don't go for an OLED panel due to the cost, then it's worth considering a monitor with local dimming technology that can independently control the brightness of different zones of the screen, providing better contrast and blacks. Full array dimming is preferred over edge lit dimming for superior HDR performance. When you're choosing a monitor, the types and number of ports available are crucial for ensuring compatibility for all your devices and future-proofing your setup. Therefore, it's important to ensure you have enough ports for your requirements, like the number of HDMI ports, for example. Most monitors will have at least 2 HDMI ports to connect your devices, and it's important to check what version it has, as they'll support varying levels of resolutions and refresh rates. The most common is the HDMI 2.0, which supports 4K at 60Hz. Then you have HDMI 2.1, which will be more expensive as they support 4K at 120Hz, making them perfect for the current gen gaming consoles. Then there's DisplayPort, which allows for higher bandwidth than the HDMI, with multiple versions available. So you have DisplayPort 1.2, which supports 4K at 60Hz, DisplayPort 1.4 supporting 8K at 60Hz. This is generally common on most monitors, and DisplayPort 2.0, which supports 8K at 120Hz. The most versatile port is the USB-C port, which supports video output, data transfer, and power delivery. So when you connect your laptop, allowing it to charge and enabling data transfer via a single cable. Some high-end monitor models also have Thunderbolt ports with either Thunderbolt 3 or 4, providing faster data transfer speeds up to 40 gigabytes per second and high resolution. But to be honest, if you're using a PC, then you're better off using a display port and use your HDMI port for your console, keeping the USB-C port for a laptop. Most monitors will have an audio port like a 3.5mm jack for connecting headphones or external speakers. This can be useful if your monitor doesn't have built-in speakers, as you can use it for watching your streaming services or when you're gaming. If you planned on using a monitor with speakers, then worth checking if it has an optical port or one of the HDMI ports supports eARC. If you frequently switch between devices, so a PC and a Mac or even a laptop, then it's worth considering a monitor with a USB hub and a built-in KVM switch, so you can use the same keyboard and mouse between different devices. Not all monitors out there have built-in speakers, as a lot of people just use their headphones or external speakers, but personally I do like a monitor that comes with built-in speakers, so you can hear any notifications coming through on your computer, like emails arriving or briefly playing something on YouTube. But be aware that the majority of monitors don't have good speakers, with them having very tinny sound and no depth. Some monitors come with a remote control, which is ideal if you want to watch your streaming services from it, plus giving you quick and easy access to make adjustments and change settings, rather than fiddling with a joystick behind your screen, which can be annoying at times. Adjustments wise, the majority of monitors can swivel in either direction, with height adjustment and the ability to tilt it forwards and backwards. In addition, some may be able to rotate 90 degrees to portrait, but worth noting it's sometimes only in one direction, not both. Some monitor stands even come with cable management areas and clips, helping you to keep your cables nice and tidy. Now, if you wanted to ditch the stand and free up your desk area, you could go for a monitor arm, and with that you'd attach the monitor arm to the edge of your desk, and you're able to do this with most monitors as they have a VESA mount at the back. Sim racing wise, if you wanted a single monitor setup for a PC, I'd suggest going for a curved ultra-wide monitor to get the best immersive racing experience. Personally, from all the monitors I've reviewed, I found the LG 45GR95QE gaming monitor was a great option to go for, with its 45-inch display, with the vertical height being larger than most ultra-wide monitors I've reviewed, together with it having a heavier 800R curvature, giving a much more immersive racing experience. If you're sim racing using a console, the ultra-wide monitors aren't a good option, as I've already mentioned, but size-wise, the minimum I'd suggest is a 32-inch, and that generally worked well, and maximum-wise, 55 inches is more than enough if you're racing with a rig, as I'd say there's no need to go any larger. A good thing to check when purchasing a monitor is the warranty a manufacturer provides, so different brands will cover different things together with the length of guarantee, so it's good to check the small print and make sure you know what is covered just in case you encounter any issues. If you just need a monitor for general productivity or browsing the web and you're a casual gamer, then a 27-inch monitor is perfect. But if you can push your budget for a 32-inch monitor, then I definitely recommend doing that, as the additional screen reader estate is a big benefit. A good option to go for is LG's 32GS95UE, which has HDMI 2.1 ports and dual mode, giving you 480Hz, with it having an OLED panel too. If you're looking for an ultra-wide monitor, then I'd recommend looking at something like LG's 49WQ95CW, and has been my daily driver for over 2 years. It has an IPS panel and is perfect for productivity and even casual gaming. So for me, it ticks a lot of boxes in terms of functionality. But keep your eyes peeled for LG's new 45-inch bendable monitor, which allows you to choose the curvature on there, providing 5K 2K resolution, so 5120 by 2160 with a 125 ppi, together with it featuring integrated smart functionality via LG's WebOS. If you're after something specifically for color accuracy work, then worth looking at Asus ProArt displays and BenQ's professional monitors, as they give some of the best sRGB and DCI-P3 options out there. So there you have it. You've come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped answer some of the questions you may have when buying a monitor. But if you have any additional ones, then drop them in the comment section below. For those of you who've got to the end of this video, please leave a comment with monitor, as it's awesome to see who's got to the end of my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You can follow me on my socials. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.